Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast to the protection against heavy rain and flooding by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
So the big challenge is, how can house owners like you and me get a flood-free home? How can business managers like you and me get a flood-free company? And how can public servants provide flood-free critical infrastructure and livable cities?
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe. This podcast is for foresighted and proactive people who do not want to shovel the muddy water out of their room while standing in the midst of the disaster.
Therefore, those who design and plan, the architects and engineers, need to construct such buildings and cities, and that even when the entire environment is completely flooded. That is a challenge, and this podcast will give the answers.
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
Welcome to a new episode of our flood protection journey. Yeah, today we are delving into the nuts and bolts, quite literally, of flood defense systems. The title is Security and Safety, the Role of Spare Parts in Flood Protection, with a subtitle From Past Calamities to Present-Day Resilience. I am Andreas Klippe, here to guide you through the essential world of spare parts in flood protection, a crucial aspect that safeguards your investments and, more importantly, your family's safety. Yeah, let's have a look to the chilling winter of 1953. I bring you back in time a little bit, so it's a little bit like traveling with a time machine today. Yeah, so relax in your seat or whatever you're doing. Perhaps you are jogging or walking or sitting in the subway or in a bus or driving with your car. So let's go back to this chilling winter of 1953, where the North Sea unleashed its fury, breaching the dikes and sea defenses of the Netherlands and the United Kingdom. And this catastrophic flood claimed over 2,500 lives and left a trail of destruction. And as we dissect this tragedy, we learn that many dikes and barriers failed due to, to worn out components and a lack of readily available spare parts. And this tragedy was not only a battle against nature, but also a fight against time and preparedness. So we'll explore how this disaster led a paradigm shift in how nations approach flood defense, because that is what they did, especially the Netherlands. So they are very well protected in the meantime. And emphasizing the critical need for maintaining a stockpile of quality spare parts and regular system checkups. Regular system checkups, that's a magic word for dikes and dams, of course. And for other things, that is what we will see later. Yeah, then let's move to... Let's go back in time again. So we move backwards. Don't worry, we will not go to the Jurassic time. We will not see what the dinosaurs have done when the flooding approached them. That was more a meteor, right? So we go back to the Mississippi flood of 1927. And in the United States, of course. And the Mississippi River broke its banks, inundating millions of acres. And the flood's impact was monumental, not just in terms of the immediate devastation, but also in how it reshaped America's approach to flood control. So we'll dive into how outdated and poorly maintained flood barriers, compounded by a lack of efficient spare parts replacement strategies, turned a natural phenomenon into a national disaster. At this time, of course, we cannot talk about real flood protection, because these modern flood barriers that we know nowadays were not invented yet. So this historic event stands as a stark reminder of the consequences of neglecting the upkeep of flood protection systems and the importance of investing in high quality, durable spare parts. Yes, durable it shall be. And high quality, that's what we all want to have, right? So look to our cars. Of course, we want to have a high quality car, and we expect that the spare parts the car shop is installing are genuine parts, and that they last long. All these things we expect, and that they are cheap. Yeah. So now let's go back to the days of today. Yes, to today land. Modern day application of historical lessons learned. Yes. So how do we apply them? With our historical insights, we transition to the present day. So how do these lessons apply to our current approach to flood protection? You need to examine the various components of modern flood barriers. So now it starts. Now, relax. From hydraulic pumps to electronic sensors. You might say, I don't have hydraulic pumps and I don't have electronic sensors. I only have demountable flood barriers. There's no electronic, no hydraulic, no pneumatic part built in. Yes, correct. But there are other systems. You know me, I'm always talking about the top 14 flood barrier systems, what I'm describing, which I'm describing. And of course, there are systems that work with hydraulic, electric, and pneumatic system parts of it. So that means it is absolutely necessary. You need to examine the various components, and here they are: hydraulic pumps, electronic sensors, electronic parts, electronic cabinets, inflating pneumatic systems, rubber sealings, screws, bolts, compression clamps, threads of the screws and bolts, just to mention some. And ensuring their optimal performance through regular maintenance and timely replacement of spare parts. That is a magic point, and I cannot repeat it. I can only repeat it again and again. Ensuring their optimal performance through regular maintenance and timely replacement of spare parts. That gives you peace of mind at the end of the day, and that will make sure that the installed flood protection systems, barriers, will work properly, and you will have a peace of mind. That means you are fine. You have not to worry about any flooding, and you will not stand in the middle of your room, whether it is a living room or whether it is your hotel lobby or your office room or it is your warehouse with expensive goods, or in the middle of a fabrication site with expensive machines. And then you shovel. You stand knee deep in the mud, and you shovel out the muddy water out onto the street. And then you have to start the renovation. Then you have to replace what has been damaged and what has been washed away with the water. So that means a lot of money you have to spend. All your hard-earned money will have gone, and you have no money anymore to invest in the real important things in life. Imagine what you want to do. Perhaps like me, I'm dreaming to visit some places I haven't seen yet. So I was in 34, 35 countries I did business, but never in Africa. So that's one thing I still want to do. And perhaps you have some dreams. Some want to go to New York, or some others want to go to Sydney to the opera, or go to Switzerland and have a nice skiing week and experience. Others want to invest in with the hard-earned money, invest in the education of the kids. Others want to surprise the spouse with some jewelry, diamond rings perhaps, who knows. So all these things, or some entrepreneurs want to invest in the company. Architects perhaps want to invest in better software, higher educated young architects and engineers to improve to improve the stuff that they can do better projects, perhaps operate more internationally, and so on and so forth. So all these things you cannot do if you spend all your hard-earned money to repair the disaster initiated by heavy rain and floods. That is why sometimes very small parts are necessary. That was one of the reasons why these hyper what is it? The Concorde that is flying with hyperspeed before this excellent airplane. I think it needed only 2.5 or 3 hours from Paris to New York, and that was a very small part that caused this accident in Paris long ago. And that is why the whole airplane program stopped. That was one of the reasons, but that was a main reason. A very small part only. And this small part only made this the space shuttle exploding when all the astronauts died long ago. There was a very small part, and then the rocket exploded just after the start. Not the rocket, the rocket with the space shuttle at the top. So small parts only. And why shall it not be as important as I have described for your flood protection? Yeah, they might not, and then ensure they one recommendation exactly. Use genuine spare parts only. I mentioned it already. There's a reason why they are called genuine spare parts. Cheap ones work during sunshine days, but they might not function when you need them most in case of heavy rain and flooding, and there's no sunshine at all. You will therefore increase the lifetime and the safety for your buildings, your inventory, and people who are inside, and all will have a peace of mind. So, as we reflect on these, I have to drink some tea. Wait a second. Thank you. As we reflect on these historical events, we realize that the strength of a flood defense system lies in its weakest link, often a small, overlooked spare part. Today, we have the opportunity to learn from the past and fortify our defenses, not just with concrete and steel, but with diligence and foresight. And as always, the golden nugget, you might ask. Where is my golden nugget today? The key takeaway? Remember, in flood protection, every component counts. A well-maintained spare part can be the difference between a minor inconvenience and a major catastrophe. Stay vigilant, stay prepared, perform regular semi-annual and annual maintenance, and train those responsible for operating the flood protection systems. If you don't want to or can't do it yourself, ask flood experts for help. They will be happy to take care of the service for you. Yes, that was the episode, the Flood Protection Secrets, episode 58 already. Securing safety, the role of spare parts in flood protection, subtitled with From Past Calamities to Present Day Resilience. I thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery and innovation. If you found inspiration in our story, subscribe for more insights on building flood resilient communities. Until next time, keep dreaming big and building safe. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed, once again, give me a subscription. See you next time. Stay safe and flood free. I wish and hope for you that you make the right decisions when it comes to your personal flood protection. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to this podcast channel if you haven't already. Now it only remains for me to wish you a good day. Do something with it. Maybe until the next podcast episode. I would be very happy. See you then. As always, stay safe and flood free. Your Andreas Klippe and the whole Flood Experts team.
That's it again with the new episode of Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood Andreas Klippe, German engineer, book author, and head of the Flood Experts. What can Dr. Flood Andreas Klippe protect for you? Anytime? Worldwide? Contact us or just click through to www.floodexperts.de/bonus. Detailed engineering, German quality, safe. Flood protection secrets. The secrets you'll want to unfold.
Don't forget, you're only one flood barrier away.
Subscribe to the season, and you'll never be late for an episode.